This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John Donalo. And we are live. We are streaming live today on this Tuesday, March 25th. You know what? I think we're live because it's my husband's birthday.
Oh,
And so Zoom decided that we should celebrate. So we are celebrating.
oh,
So
good.
we are
Oh,
recording, we are doing everything, and no, recording did not stop.
Oh, okay.
That's Zoom. Zoom just jumps in with its wonderful AI. And
Oh,
I don't want AI. Anyways, everybody, this is part of the comedy that we offer you here at What in the World. So, Paul Seaburn, tell us what we're going to talk about today.
well, apparently we're going to talk about your husband's birthday. So happy
hey, that's
birthday.
okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen Rich on the show in quite a while. He used to pop in when we were at the donut shop, if you remember that. Gee, I
Yes.
wonder why. But what a great guy. I hope he enjoys his birthday, and I hope you guys go do something fun after the show. But you need to stay here during the show. And by show, I'm talking about What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news podcast. Real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. We're here every Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time, sometimes live. If not, we're recording, and you can listen to us sometime in the future if we're still here in the future. We hope we will be. So what do we got? What do we got going on here? The first voice you heard was none other than Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, which is our platform. Go there. Look for the tab that says, I forget what it says on there, something about podcast. That's where you can find out where to download this podcast and all the other great podcasts that Karen has to offer. All different subject matters, many of them, all of them helpful, all of them interesting. So check them out. Also, while you're there, check out Yes I Can Coaching with Karen, which is also our sponsor. So check that out. Karen has a blog. She's got messaging stuff all over the place. Everything you need other than, Uber Eats, I think, is on
You're right.
There you go.
radio.net. Definitely check that out. I do want to mention before I go any further, there's a link there to YouTube, to our page on YouTube. Please check that out. Follow us on YouTube. That really helps us out a lot in terms of promoting the podcast and finding out how many people are listening. If you want to get in contact with me, I'm on Facebook. You can do that. Go to paulseaburn.com, paulseaburn.com, my website. I have a link there. You can send me email messages. Karen has an email on newclevelandradio.net. Okay. The other voice you heard in your other ear is none other than my old buddy, my old college fraternity pal, John Donalo, host of What in the World of Sports with John Donalo, our color commentator and all-around good guy. Hi, John. How are you today?
Yeah, Paul, I'm doing great. And yeah, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, it's too cold to be outside today. I mean, it's cold in Cleveland, right? But so we're inside, and Paul has done a lot of work this week, as he always does, to make sure we'll have a good show. So let's get going.
Well, speaking of weather, two reasons to speak of the weather. Number one, I heard, I hear from people, from our many of our listeners. I heard from Dan down in South Carolina. He always says hello. He said his favorite part of the show is Bluff the co-host. So yeah, a lot of people like Bluff the co-host. That's on after all the other stuff. We'll get to that in a second. And I also wanted to do a shout out to Mark. Haven't heard from Mark in a while down in Austin, but he made a point of sending me a message today to let me know it's 82 degrees. It was 82 degrees this morning in Austin, Texas. So God only knows what temperature it is now.
Wow.
He's probably
82.
outside. Yeah, 82. It's for March 20, whatever, 20 something, 25th. Little warm for March. Okay, so we got a lot of great stuff to talk about today on What in the World. What do we got? Oh, ice cream monstrosities. And if it's an ice cream monstrosity, it's from Japan, where all the weird food stories come from. So we got that today. We've got famous blobs we have known. This sounds like a category on $10,000 Pyramid.
I remember that show.
Yeah, it's actually a news story, John, about blobs. So be
Okay.
ready. I got some trivia on blobs.
Okay.
Also, be ready. Bigfoot and the weather in Pennsylvania. There's a link between the two of them that you wouldn't expect. And yes, I have a photo. Okay, so
Ooh.
Okay.
and then a story from Facebook. Bigfoot. I'm sorry. We already did Bigfoot, Big Mouths, and Big Macs. So we got two stories about having to do with big. Why statues love museum employees in Rome. Oh, get ready for this. Little kinky, just as a warning. Acupuncture variations for everyone. This was another popular story on Facebook. Plus, more. We got more odd news. I got a couple of world records. We got trivia. John's got a great strange sport for us. And then we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So let's get right to it with our first story from Japan. As always, strange food. So this comes from, I forget, the Family Mart ice cream chain in Japan. There's my book. We're looking at some pictures here. Again, I want to mention that we've got pictures to go along with all the stories. So it always pays to take a look at the show, even if you listen to it. We talk, or at least one of us talks quite a bit on the show. So you can do, you can listen to us without needing to see the photos, but the photos are really good. So check us out on YouTube. You'll also see a page about my new book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien? Available at Amazon.com and also through a link on paulseaburn.com. Okay, Family Mart in Japan has come out with, get ready, the potato frozen dessert. Potato frozen dessert. Now, there's a photo of it. It is real potato ice cream mixed with chocolate chips and white sweet beans, whatever those are, covered with a wafer to make it look like a real baked potato. John, does that look like a real baked potato to you?
No, I'll tell you what, Paul, it doesn't look like anything I can recognize. I mean, really. I mean, oh my. No, it's wow. It doesn't look
So,
appetizing. I'll just say that, in my opinion.
in my opinion, this sounds like the perfect thing to get when Family Mart is out of everything else in the ice cream section.
Right. That seemed to make sense, Paul. Wow.
That's right. There's a big pile, though there was always a big pile of popsicles or something, like lime popsicles that nobody else wanted.
Right.
And you found at whatever your favorite convenience store was. This is a kind of dessert made by an ice cream company researcher whose boss told him to think outside the ice box.
Oh,
I said icebox. That's how old I am.
Well, that's okay. Yes, ice. We know about icebox. Yes, us three know about the icebox. We do.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep. So before you go to Japan and waste your money on this thing, here's a way to get a feel for it. Eat some cold mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah, really, very appetizing.
Or something. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as potato ice cream, only with gravy instead of chocolate syrup.
Very bad.
Gravy, cold gravy. I can eat cold mashed potatoes. I can't eat cold gravy. Cold gravy is like gravy jello.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It solidifies, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh.
Not appealing at all. About as appealing as potato ice cream. And so I'm thinking, if I did have some potato ice cream, what would I serve it with? What do I roll it in a slice of ham and use the ham as a cone?
Oh my.
Even and we have one of these in Ohio, state fairs. Even people who go to state fairs and eat all the weird stuff at state fair, they think this is disgusting too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
These These are people, you go to the state fair, they eat stuff like Kool-Aid chicken sandwiches. Have you ever seen those, John?
No, I really haven't. I've been to a state fair here and there, right? But no, I've never seen that, Paul. Wow.
Oh, man.
Kool-Aid chicken sandwich.
Kool-Aid chicken sandwich. It's a fried chicken sandwich that's been doused in a Kool-Aid glaze and topped with a giant whole pickle.
Oh,
Probably about $10.
Something not right about that, Paul. Something just not right about that.
Okay,
Oh.
here's one better. Deep fried Oreo burger. That is a beef patty covered in Oreo cookie batter, then deep fried. The burger then comes to you on a bun with bacon, glaze, and crumbled Oreos, plus an Oreo on the side for dessert if you have any room or any taste for Oreos at all after eating a greasy burger with Oreos all over it.
why are we ruining good food?
The good point.
That's a good point, Karen. Yeah, right. I have no idea. I have no idea on that one. Wow.
And if once you're done with your potato ice cream and your Kool-Aid burgers, the Kool-Aid sandwich chicken and your Oreo burger, you can wash it down with pickle lemonade. Also,
no.
Yeah.
I think if people want to go on a diet, that might be a good way for them to
Yeah.
go, right? I mean, go to the state fair and try to eat these foods, and you just end up, losing some weight, right? You won't want to eat that food. Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know. I go to state fairs and I eat all the stuff that's on a stick, and I'm so sick I want to stab myself to death with the stick. I mean, it put me out of my misery.
Yep.
Oh my.
Okay, so more ice cream from Japan. It doesn't stop here. There's an ice cream stand in Enoshima, Japan, which is a big coastal, most of the big cities around the coast. Enoshima, Japan serves ice cream covered with, get ready for this, white baby sardines.
Oh
no.
I have a photo up here of an ice cream cone on a stand with a weird looking, not
yuck.
exactly white, but kind of glazed ice cream covered with wiggly little baby sardines.
That is really gross.
That is gross. That is definitely gross.
I think the stand is called Scary Dairy Queen.
Oh.
I know. They're not live. That was the thing. They're white, lightly dried, and salted, which is like John when he's down in Florida on the beach.
You could say that. You could make
I
that
just
comparison. You could make that comparison, Paul. I got that. I get that. Wow.
White, dried, and lightly salted. So not only can you get it as a topping, you can get it mixed in, which like if that was a Dairy Queen, they'd call it a fish blizzard, I think.
Oh my.
Now,
oh geez.
Believe it or not, I made a fish blizzard once. I was making a smoothie and I threw in some Mrs. Paul's frozen fish sticks. I forgot to put the lid on and I started the blender in it and I had fish blizzard all over the place.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's terrible. I know. I'll get rid of that photo in a minute, but it's one of the more disgusting ice cream dishes I've seen out of Japan. Okay, speaking of disgusting, King Charles is selling something. He's selling something. This I can't believe. Somebody who's like one of the richest people in the world. He's actually selling Highgrove Gardens bath soap with a scent inspired by the flowers of the weeping silver lime trees at Highgrove, which is one of their castles, I guess. He's selling it for 28 pounds, 28 euros, which is $36. $36 a bar. He's in honor of Prince Andrew, his brother. He's also selling bars of lye soap.
Oh.
About a pound, yeah. So he said, if the Highgrove Gardens bath soap sells well, his next product will be a pipe tobacco, which he's calling Prince Harry in a can.
Oh,
Oh, that was good. That was
oh
good.
my. Well, Paul, it looks like I just noticed here on this photo, it says
Sure.
all profits are donated to charity. So that's for a good cause, if that is really the case. And if that's really the case, right?
Yeah. No, I think it is. I think it is. But you still have to pay shipping. I looked it up, and the shipping was like I don't know how much, $10, because you got to ship it from England if you want to buy it, if you want it in the United States. So it's not a cheap bar of soap for mom for Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Uh,
really.
but so I was thinking about Prince Harry in a can. That's actually a reference to Prince Albert pipe tobacco, and the famous joke about going into a store and asking if they had Prince Albert in a can,
Right.
or you call the pipe shop and they say, "Well, yeah, we do," and you say, "Well, you better let him out." So, classic joke. Every dad knows that joke. I happen to have a can of Prince Albert
Oh, wow,
tobacco.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I got one for you. So my dad actually used to use that tobacco. He used
So
to
did
use
mine.
Prince.
That's where
Yeah,
this
right,
came
right.
from.
That's kind of amazing. That brings back some memories, Paul.
Yeah. So this is a little tiny can. My dad smoked a lot of tobacco. I don't know. I thought at first that this was a cigar can because they also had Prince Albert's um,
Cigars.
and cigarette tobacco that you could use to roll your own cigarettes back in the day when people did that. So the original Prince Albert, not the one that's on the can, by the way. The original Prince Albert was Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, who she was madly in love with. He died young, and after that, she was never the same. She never married again. But fortunately, they had a son who was also named Albert, and he became Edward the Seventh after Queen Victoria passed away. Here's another one. He had to wait over 50 years to become king, kind of like King Charles, which is why I think that's why Prince Albert spent so much time in the can. He was busy waiting.
Oh, so to speak. Good one,
reading,
Paul.
reading the London Times. Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good story.
Well, I got it. This is a trivia laden story here, John. So here's a picture of there you go. There's Prince Albert in a big can.
Right, sure. Uh-huh.
So this was hand rolled cigarette and pipe tobacco introduced by the R.J. Reynolds Company in 1907, and that's the date that's on the back of this can here. It's not from 1907, but that's what it says. Patent in 1907. You could get it's still to this day available and one of the top pipe tobaccos in the United States. You can get cigars. My dad smoked Prince Albert in his pipe. Talk about vape flavors today. The Prince Albert not only came in plain, but also in soft cherry vanilla and soft and sweet vanilla. Now, did your dad smoke flavored tobacco, or was he strictly the stinky stuff?
That's a good question, but I remember him distinctly smoking Prince Albert, okay? Because in fact, the pipe that he had a pipe that had some kind of vents to it. It wasn't like a traditional pipe where you put the tobacco in the top and then you light it, right? But he had several pipes, my dad did, but I couldn't really recall if it was like flavored or not. But he used to smoke that tobacco, I know. Wow.
Yeah. So this shows you how times have changed. I'm gonna put up an ad and I'll read it to everybody. This was an ad for Prince Albert, and it featured a Native American who they referred to as an Indian, obviously in the picture, and then the derogatory term peace pipe. So it was called a
Oh,
Jimmy.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pipe o' peace. Prince Albert has put the Indian sign on all the tongue broiling smart weed brands. Prince Albert can't bite your tongue nor any man's. Patent processing to remove the sting. So that was their big claim to fame. It didn't sting. I think it says it on the can here somewhere. It says will not sting your tongue, which I would pay to have that done sometimes, but back.
Well, you know what though, Paul? That ad had to be clearly from the 50s or no later than the 60s, I'm sure. I
Oh,
mean,
60 probably, yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
I would think, right? Exactly. I
Well,
mean,
look at the price. Sold everywhere in 5-cent bags, 10-cent tins, pound and half-pound humidors. So a tin like this was probably 10 cents.
yeah,
I
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's probably the 50s, John. You're right.
Wow.
Soap comes in lime, silver lime blossom, mimosa, and cedar. So lime blossom, mimosa, and cedar. If you get all three, you smell like you spent all day in a bar drinking mimosas and lime gimlets and smoking cigars with that combination right there. So
You know, for some people that's a good combo, I think, right? I mean, depends on when you get home and whoever you're coming home to, right? I mean,
that's right. Yeah, better than smelling like stale beer because you were passed out on the floor at the bar.
right,
So,
exactly. Wow.
okay, most popular story of the week from Facebook. Now we've talked about this lady before in our section on world records. So her name is Samantha Ramsdell, and she holds the world record, the two Guinness World Records for the largest mouth, 2.5 inches wide, and the largest mouth gape, four inches stretch. So that's the gape. When she takes the sides of her mouth and stretches it even more using her fingers, she can stretch it 4 inches. Now, to prove both of those skills are legitimate, she recently posted a picture of herself with a wine bottle.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Yes, completely in her mouth.
Oh
Not
boy.
holding the bottle at all. Well, I have a picture here of the bottle, a good inch into her mouth, with the smaller end at the other. She could almost pour. If they pulled the cork out, she could bend over and pour a drink. I like to pick the guy in the corner.
The guy in the foreground. Look at his expression. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This was a restaurant, and he was at the next table getting ready to serve, and the waiter came over to him and asked what he wanted to order, and he pointed to her husband, and he says, "I'll have whatever he's having tonight."
Good one.
Very good play on words, Paul. Very good play on words on that one. Wow.
Her mouth is so big, her dental hygienist has to wear a harness before she goes
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah. Well, if the shoe fits, wear it, right? Like they say. Oh my gosh. Wow.
We're not talking about shoes here, John. Although she could put 3 or 4 feet in her mouth, I think.
I would think you could, man. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. Oh wow.
Why would you even try that?
I'll tell you why, Karen. Very good question. She has 3.8 million followers on social media. This is her job, demonstrating things like this and collecting money on social media.
Wow.
I'm on social media and I do some weird things and I don't get money like that.
Isn't that amazing? So she's also a comedian and a singer. I'd like to see her. I bet you she's wild at karaoke.
I bet. Yeah.
She had a song. Her only big hit so far was a new spin on that Diana Ross classic, "Ain't No Mountain Wide Enough."
Oh.
Instead of a microphone, she puts a whole bullhorn in her mouth. So, now, John, I know you're happily married, but if you were single, this would be the perfect girl to take to a baseball game. Any foul balls that come your way, she's there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. She'd be able to pick them up with no issue over there. Right. Wow.
Oh,
That's incredible. Really, it is incredible. This is an incredible photo, and it's an incredible story.
Yes, I probably had about 300 likes alone on that photo on Facebook. Quite a few here. This was another one, also a world record that we talked about before. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Don Gorski is the gentleman's name, and you may remember he held the world record for the most McDonald's hamburger Big Macs eaten in a lifetime. Well, he just did an update because he reached 35,000
Oh my
Big Macs
God.
his lifetime in less than
Now,
50.
now, Paul, is this the gentleman that only eats Big Macs? I think, right, or
No.
something like that.
Yeah, he eats 2 Big Macs a day. I don't know if he eats anything else, but that's all he eats at McDonald's is Big Macs. He doesn't even eat fries. Um,
Do we know what his cholesterol level is?
he says he goes to the doctor and everything checks out fine. Everything checks
Wow.
out. Yeah, he's been doing this for 50 years. He holds the second record for the most times hearing a McDonald's counter person say, "I'm sorry, sir, the ice cream machine is broken today."
Well, that's par for the course, as they say, Paul.
That's right,
Oh
John.
my.
He's actually married. This is the other question everybody asks. Oh, he must be single. Look, somebody said he looked like Captain Kangaroo. He looks more like Captain Burgaroo, if you ask me. But he does.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. If you look at this photo closely, what's with this guy's sideburns? Do you check out his
Yeah.
sideburns? Like, what kind of look is that he's got going? I should talk, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
look at that. That's strange.
He had, for those of you who can't see the photo, he had bangs, which is unusual in itself, wire rim glasses, and sideburns down, a good inch and a half below his ear. So it's an odd Sonny Bono kind of.
Yeah, he's got a Sonny Bono vibe going on, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
If Sonny Bono were pushing doing McDonald's commercials, that might
Wow.
be that. Now he's actually married, although his wife's name is not Rhonda McDonald. He pointed that out.
You might think that. You might think
Yeah,
that would
you
be
might.
it, but
Right, I did. So he goes to the same McDonald's. He has a reserved table there, uh, and then if there's nobody, he gets to use the ball pit all by himself. One of the benefits to.
oh my.
Or with his wife if he wants to get a little wild, and after they share a Big Mac. So I don't know. He eats 2 a day. He said leading up to the 35,000, he wanted to land on a certain day, some anniversary or something. So he slowed down to 1 a day. So he would hit the 35,000 on that day. He takes the record so seriously. This is for you, John. He has kept every container and every receipt from every sale. So that's, 50 years worth of containers and receipts that he has stored somewhere in his house or apartment.
Well, no, you're sure? No, you're sure he's still married, right? I mean,
Yes.
where does this guy store all this? I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? I mean, what kind of wife is going to say, "Oh yeah, here's another spot for you to put some more Big Mac containers."
You know that old saying, John, Big Mac, big. So.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Okay. Well, hey, to each his own, I guess, right? To each his own. Wow.
To answer your question, he has a great blood sugar level as well. He says exceptional cholesterol. He walks 6 miles a day. He probably walks to the McDonald's and back. And fast. He does 7-minute miles, which is really fast. He gets an extra boost from all the farts from eating those.
Yeah, you would think that's true also.
Oh
What an
man,
interesting character. What an interesting character, Paul.
he must smell like a Big Mac. You can just eat one. I smell like it for 2 days. So
Oh my.
another smelly story, not about eating. Yeah. According to a new study, statues in ancient Greece and Rome, were covered with pleasant scents like beeswax, rose, and olive oil to give them a more lifelike odor. Now, I thought this would be a good idea for some modern statues, to give them a more lifelike odor. And then I remembered when I was in Philadelphia, I saw the statue of Rocky Balboa after running up the stairs. And I thought, I don't want to smell whatever it is he smelled like at that point.
Yeah, good thinking there. Wow.
Yeah. And John, they asked the Statue of Liberty what scent she wanted. And she kind of looked down and she said, just give me a deodorant, I'll be fine.
Oh.
So here's where my mind goes when I see stories like this. Let's say you're in Cleveland. We're in Cleveland. I get a job at the art museum. John, you're a well-known patron of the art museum. I get a job at the art museum. I figure I'm going to be sweeping floors. They said, "Oh no, we want you to do what this study said. We want you to start rubbing wax and smelly stuff on our statues." Um, so I'm supposed to rub olive oil and scented wax all over statues, especially Venus de Milo. Now,
Whoa. Whoa.
all of a sudden I get excited. I'm thinking, this is great. Plus, I don't care what Venus thinks because she has no arms to slap my face.
Yeah, you got a captive audience there, so to speak, Paul. You have a captive audience, right? Exactly. Oh my.
So then I knew Karen would object to this story. So I thought, so to be fair, they could also hire a woman for that job, and she would be rubbing all the statues, including the statue of Michelangelo's David.
Oh my God.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah, think about that. How frustrating that would be, because no matter how hard you rub the side
Oh,
I'm an equal opportunity offender today. There we go.
Yes, you
Okay.
well,
are.
at least you're doing
No
that,
problem.
Paul. That's to your credit. That is to your credit for sure.
Okay. Moving on to our acupuncture story. So, some dairy farmers in France's Brittany region are using an ancient Chinese needle therapy as an alternative to drugs and chemical treatments for ailments and diseases in their cows. Now, this is actually based on a technique that originated in Tibet, where it's called acupuncture.
Oh,
There we
thank you
go.
for the horn. Thank you for the horn. Horn designation.
It gets worse. So, I was thinking about this. I'm not getting close to any cow while they're getting acupuncture, because I don't want to get hit by projectile cow patties.
You could.
Oh,
That could happen.
So I was informed by a number of people on Facebook that acupuncture for animals is really pretty common. I actually got acupuncture for one of our dogs a long time ago, so I did know that. I didn't know it was for cows though. But other animals that can get this same treatment, ducks. It's called quacupuncture.
Oh.
Oh.
There's more. Dental hygienist, placupuncture, proctologist, quacupuncture.
Oh.
The mafia version, John, wacupuncture.
Well, I always have an interest in hearing about that, so I got it. Okay.
Can't sleep, insomniac acupuncture. And for the Cleveland Browns, quarterback acupuncture.
Touche, Paul. Touche on that one.
I think they need a lot of that. They need a lot of that.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
So back to Japan. Oh, John, we were talking about this story before the show. I guess I did put it in here. At the 2025 World Expo in Osaka, Japan, Coca-Cola has unveiled the world's first hydrogen-powered vending machine for dispensing cold drinks. They run on replaceable hydrogen cartridges to fuel a chemical reaction that generates electricity. There's a warning on the machine, on this hydrogen machine, that drinking Cokes cooled by hydrogen can result in you getting a Hindenburg.
Oh. Oh.
Not bad. Not bad, Paul. That's not too bad. That'll work.
I heard that and I said, oh, the spumanity.
Oh.
This is really dangerous. I mean, they said it's not, but I think it is. Because hydrogen is explosive, and this is a Coke machine. If your Coke doesn't come out when you put the money in, what do? You kick the Coke machine.
Yes. That's a natural reaction there when you don't get your soft drink. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, this doesn't sound very safe at all. So they said it's not just for Coke. Schweppes, another big beverage company, is looking into it as well. A hydrogen vending machine for their ginger ale, which they'll be calling the hydrogen machine is called the Schweppelin.
Oh, all right.
And if it played music, it would be a lead Schweppelin.
Oh,
uh, oh,
Punishing show today, I would say. A
it is a
punishing.
yeah.
punishing show today. It is. It is
Okay.
very much so.
All right. So we don't talk about politics on the show because, we want to talk about weird news. We do talk about this story is politics adjacent. Uh, there's a group in Washington called Doge. You may have heard of it. And one of the organizations it wants to shut down is the National Weather Service. I personally object to that, but for a different reason than you may think. I want to appeal to Doge. Do not shut down the National Weather Service because they perform a really valuable service. And it's not just forecasting the weather. Get ready for this. The National Weather Service hunts for Bigfoot. Believe it or not.
Really?
Did not know that, Paul. Did not
Yeah.
know that.
The
Wow.
story comes from Pennsylvania, from Hoover, Pennsylvania. There was a severe storm there recently, and you would think a city named Hoover could handle strong winds, but apparently they weren't prepared for it. So Hoover is in Fayette County, which is also the home of Falling Waters, the famous, beautiful house that was built by Frank Lloyd Wright. So it could be that Bigfoot is into mid-century modern because it was right near this near Falling Waters that this Bigfoot was seen. So meteorologists with the National Weather Service were doing a storm survey to assess the damage in the area, in the Hoover area, when they noticed something unusual beyond a fallen tree. It was Bigfoot. Now, one of the meteorologists issued a report saying it was a human-sized creature, if not larger, and appeared to be walking past a house. Fortunately, John, the meteorologist had something besides his Doppler radar with him. He had his cell phone, and he focused it, and he zoomed in and got a picture of the Bigfoot. There is the Bigfoot taken by the National Weather Service meteorologist in Hoover, Pennsylvania. Clear, just the clearest photo that we've seen in ages. So what do you think, John?
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Paul, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's a clear picture, and it does look like in the in the background there that it could be a creature with two arms, right, and a head.
No,
I think that's probably actually of all the photos that you've shown over the years, that's could be the most convincing one that I've ever seen.
it'd be nice if it was a video, so we could see if it was moving or not. So, so this is a Bigfoot hotspot. They actually reported this to the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society, which said, "Oh wow, this is a Bigfoot hotspot." They said in 1977, there was a family driving near this road. They spotted a 6 foot tall figure with shaggy reddish brown fur. They shined their headlights on it, and it ran over a 40-foot embankment. In
Oh,
2004, also near this spot, two friends reported seeing a 7 foot tall creature making cat-like noises while they were bike riding. 2013, a man reported seeing an 8 foot tall creature with caveman-like features near here. So this is, you can't tell how big this is, but he looks kind of cavemanish. So the National Weather Service did, they said we can't say yes or no if this really is Bigfoot. Could be Bigfoot, could be a statue, could be one of those cutouts. They don't know. But you got to give them credit for trying and for going out and taking a picture and admitting that they saw it. So, as far as I'm concerned, Doge, leave the National Weather Service alone. They're doing this show a great service by supplying us with photos like that.
I agree, Paul. I mean, really, to me, this photo could be the gold standard right now.
The gold standard, well, maybe the brown standard, but close
Well,
to.
brown, yeah, right. Okay, technically, it could be the brown standard, but it is. I mean, of all the photos that you've shown us over the years, Karen, I think you'd have to agree on this one. I mean,
yeah.
this is probably the best one. Wow.
Yeah. I wonder what the people who live in that house think. But anyways, okay. So while we're on the subject of monsters, I got another one for you. This is maybe real, Well, I'm not sure. It may be a real monster. This is another popular story on Facebook. This is about the smooth-headed blobfish. The smooth-headed blobfish, which is described as the world's ugliest animal and the official mascot of the Ugly Animal Preservation Society. That could be why. There's a picture of it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this blobfish has been voted the 2025 Fish of the Year for the country of New Zealand. So it looks like a gelatinous blob, 2 eyes, a frowning mouth, and a huge, huge nose that hangs over the mouth. It's so ugly that tourists who come to New Zealand from Texas won't even eat it if it's deep fried on a stick. That's how ugly it is.
Well, that's saying something.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I'll tell
really.
you, so
Oh my
ugly.
gosh.
The #1 cause of New Zealand Catholics giving up and eating meat during Lent. They're just not going to eat this fish. So
Yeah, right.
Marine biologists feel sorry for it, so they make up excuses for why it looks this way. So they say that in its natural habitat on the seabed at a depth of 2,000 to 4,000 feet, the blobfish resembles any other fish, which it kind of does. I looked at a picture. The nose isn't quite as prominent, but it still looks pretty ugly. So then they also said it also has a nice personality. So
oh, Paul, you're on a roll today. You're on a roll today for
John,
sure.
yeah, that's a warning sign right there when it's got a nice personality. So one of the things I noticed in the comments was that everybody seemed to know somebody who looked like a blobfish, and there were many suggestions. I'm going to mention here. Jimmy Durante. There's a picture of Jimmy Durante. Do you think he looks like a blobfish?
Well, I think that's a little cruel, but I guess you could say that there are some resembling features, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Durante's a good guy, right? Was a good guy,
Was a good guy. Oh yeah, very good guy. Okay, how about this one? Who is that, John?
Carl Malden.
Carl Malden. Carl Malden. Another guy with a huge nose, blobfish-like nose. I look at this picture, and the first thing that comes to my mind is Carl Malden saying, "What will you do? What will?"
Yeah, good one, Paul. That's right. I mean, that's
Okay, John. What commercial is that from?
Oh, you got me on this one. I got a brain lock
I
on
didn't
this
know it
one.
myself. I had to look it up. American Express traveler's checks.
That's right. Wow.
Leave
That's
home
a thing from
without
the
them.
past.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. That was in the probably in the 1980s, maybe
Yeah,
7.
sure.
They would the Lost Wallet commercial, 1978. I have it written down here.
Okay.
You're in Europe. You're in France. You lost your wallet. What will you do? What will you do? That's what he asked.
I remember
And
that now. Oh, wow.
oh yeah. Oh, everybody knew it. We saw it so often, obviously, that almost 50 years later, we still remember it.
Yeah.
So let's see what
yeah.
else. Let's see if you know any more Carl Malden trivia. He won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for one of the first movies he was ever in. I'll give you a hint if you need one.
No, I don't. I think it's on the waterfront.
No, you were close. He was nominated. He won it for A Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, that's right. That's
Ah.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Streetcar Named
Right.
Desire. He played a blobfish in that movie, by the way.
Can't get away from the blobfish today.
No. Okay, so after his movie career, he moved to television, and he was on a show that I know we all, of a certain age, we all watch. Remember the name of that show, John? Detective show. There's your hint.
Yeah. Streets of San Francisco.
Streets of San Francisco. The sidekick's name, the actor,
is Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Very good. Not a blobfish. So I won't be putting not a blobfish, but this is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here. So we're playing 6 degrees of blobfish. Okay. So Michael Douglas left Streets of San Francisco after the 5th season to make his first famous movie. This is one where he did not star. He was the producer of the movie and director. John, you know the movie.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna say the China Syndrome. Is that right?
in an insane asylum.
Oh,
One
Who
flew over
over the
the cuckoo's
cuckoo's
oh,
nest?
nest.
that's right. That's right. Okay,
One
that's
flew
right.
over the cuckoo's nest. Two
Sure.
stars in that movie, both blobs. Number one, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yes, he. That's not a very flattering picture of Jack,
No, it's
right?
not. No.
It's not a very flattering picture.
Jack,
Oh.
Jack in his younger days was not a blob, but this is a recent photo of him at a Lakers game. Definitely blob. Definitely blob. The other one, Danny DeVito. Recent,
Oh,
maybe blobish. How about that?
Yeah,
Blobish.
sure.
Um,
Wow.
so there we go. 6 degrees of blobs. Um,
All news to me, Paul, by the way. I never knew there was such a thing as a blobfish. So
yeah, yeah.
you learn
Isn't that
something new every day on What in the World. I know Karen always talks
absolutely.
about that. We always find out something new. So well, thanks again. Wow.
marine biology here on what in the world?
Yeah, there you go. Oh
Like
my.
Seinfeld, yeah. The okay, so I think I've run out. Yeah, I've run out of photos. The next slide up here is the logo for What in the World of Sports with John Donalo. So regular listeners know, and if you're not a regular listener, you should be. John and I go way back. We went to college together. We're fraternity brothers from that era. John knows more about sports than anybody I've ever met. He's really good with trivia. He's even better with sports trivia than with some of this movie stuff. So I ask John every week, John, find us a sport that fits with the theme. What in real sport, sometimes strange, always funny. And regular listeners know every week John manages to find a sport that is weird. Often we've never heard of it, but most of the time we'd never want to participate in it.
That's a perfect disclaimer, Paul and Karen and audience. That's a perfect disclaimer.
So I'll let the listener decide how they're going to feel about your sport this week, John. Go ahead.
Okay, that sounds good, Paul. So this is an interesting sport, and for one reason, this sport will actually make you hungry.
Oh,
The sport is the World Pizza Games. Yes, you heard that correctly. The World Pizza Games. Let me explain. On March 25th and 27th this year, starting today, the World Pizza Games will be held at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
wow.
This is the 41st year for the world's largest pizza show and competition. World champions will be crowned in each of 5 divisions: freestyle acrobatic dough tossing, fastest dough, largest dough stretch, fastest box folding, and of course, the pizza triathlon. Now, wait a minute, it gets better. There is also a master's division for freestyle acrobatic dough tossing, and the masters are previous first place winners of individual events and, for you, Karen, must be approved by the World Pizza Champions governing body, which also sets the rules and regulations of the competition. You wouldn't think that you would have this for this sport, but you do. So let me go on further. For the fastest dough event, all dough balls must be 12 ounces in weight, and 12-inch pizza screens must be used in that competition. The people that are, again, in the competition, they compete to see who can toss out of 5 doughs covering 5 pizza screens in the shortest amount of time. So you have a clock, as you would have a clock on football, basketball, that kind of thing, that makes sure, again, that in the shortest period of time, you can basically, toss those dough balls.
Before you put the sauce and the toppings on it. So
it's only the dough, Paul.
what they do at work. Yeah, this is what they do at work. So now they're competing. Wow, that's pretty good.
So for the largest stretch, the dough balls must be 18 ounces in weight and the competitors will be given 5 minutes to attempt to toss out their dough to the largest size possible. The dough must be in a predominantly round or oval shape. Squared, rectangles, or similar shapes are not allowed, and if they are, you are disqualified. Now, for the pizza box folding, which is really weird, competitors must completely and properly fold 5 12-inch pizza boxes as quickly as possible. And there's a timer on that as well.
I've never been able to do that. That's
Oh,
unbelievable.
that's something in its own right when you're trying to, do something with the pizza you have left over. Now, the pizza triathlon combines box folding, dough tossing, and large dough skills. Competitors must completely and properly fold a 12-inch pizza box, toss out a 22-ounce dough ball to cover a 16-ounce screen, and then toss out another 22-ounce dough ball to cover a 24-inch pizza screen as fast as possible.
Wow.
So, in the acrobatic freestyle, competitors will perform an acrobatic dough tossing routine set to the specific music that they provide. Routines, now wait, there's all these rules. Routines may be no longer than 5 minutes in the trials and 10 minutes in the actual competition. Competitors will be
Yeah.
given competitors are given 10 8-ounce dough balls, but are permitted to but are permitted to bring their own dough instead if they choose to do so.
That
Now,
one of the pictures, there was a picture of a guy juggling uh, pizzas, juggling 12-inch pizza pieces, flat pizza dough in the air. Just this guy looks like it's rolling across his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's
well,
amazing what they can
that is
do.
amazing. Yeah, if you can see this, if you're on YouTube or watching on YouTube, you can see this person has his arm extended and he has a 12-inch pizza dough. Looks like it's actually suspended from his arm. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
But why
now
would
there
people
is
do this, John?
well, they do it, Paul, because there's money involved. In all the event, you got to figure that, okay? In all the events, the first place winner receives $1,000. So
Oh,
not only having bragging rights as to how good you are in manipulating pizza dough, you're also able to be rewarded from a monetary standpoint. Now,
yeah.
here it is. Paul brought up this as an interesting point. We have a special local interest in this year's World Pizza Games competition. Brittany Saxton, the owner of the 600 Downtown Pizza Restaurant in Bellefontaine, Ohio, which is in Logan County, northwest of Columbus, will be defending her title in the fastest dough event.
That's a picture
Last
of
right
her.
there, yeah. Last year, she stretched 5 dough balls into 12-inch pizzas, believe it or not, in 30.087 seconds. And this was the 5th time that Brittany has won the fastest dough title, and 2 of those wins were in world record times.
Wow. Way to
Whoa.
go, Brittany. Good
Well,
luck.
and you can see she's got her smock
Medal.
or her
Yeah.
yeah her
Oh,
garment there, right, with her name on it.
yeah.
Okay, so in summarizing this unique game or these unique games, no matter how you slice it, the World Pizza Championship sounds like a fun sport. If you want to enter, save your dough, do plenty of stretching to get in shape, and don't forget to wear a topping so you don't fold under the heat of the competition.
Oh.
Oh, the punishment.
Oh. Okay.
There's a sport I did not expect to hear about.
Well,
Professional making.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a fun one to do. Finally, I mean, not to say that the
Oh,
others are
yeah.
not fun, right? But this is kind of interesting that 41 years. Now, I mean, we're not living under a rock, right? But I never knew anything like this occurred. But
No.
this is the 41st year of this.
Yeah. 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 At first blush, when you mentioned it, I didn't think that I had heard of it either, John. But then I got to thinking that way back when we were in college together, it seems to me that there was a weekend when another fraternity challenged us to a world or at least a campus pizza game competition. Do you remember that?
No, you know what? I do remember those. We ate a lot of pizza. I know that. I just remember that in those days. But no, refresh my memory on the competition part.
I remember the name of the pizza place. It was Geraci's.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember we used to go to Tracy's. Sure, of
Yeah,
course.
Geraci.
Okay.
So anyway, so John, I'm surprised you don't remember it. It was the John Carroll University Pizza Games, and uh, we were challenged by another fraternity. So as usual, the older guys picked on me and John and said, "Okay, you guys are the competitors. Uh, do whatever you have to do. You know, make the pizza the fastest, and we win, and then we go drink beer." So so John and I, we'd eaten a lot of pizza, so we believe it or not, we seemed to be pretty good at making them, and we were ahead at one point. And then, remember, this is a Catholic school. The judges looked over at the other fraternity, and the pizza that they had made had a picture of Jesus baked in.
Oh
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Well,
Oh.
Karen and everybody out there, this is a Catholic school. John and I looked at each other. There's no way we'll ever win. They've got a picture of Jesus on their pizza. John is the quick thinker of this team, and he happened to look behind the other team, and he noticed something that won the competition for us. And what he noticed, they did not bake it; they bought it. And there's the box, and
Oh yeah, I remember that now
is
for
also
sure. There, there is physical evidence, right? There's definite proof there, right? That they
That's
they
right.
did not make it; they actually bought it. So
They bought it. I don't think it says Geraci's on there. It was probably some other pizza place with a picture of Jesus's face in grease on it. And on that note, and that story,
oh my gosh.
we have reached the end of another segment of What in the World of Sports with John Donello. Thanks again, John.
You're
Um,
welcome, Paul and Karen and audience. Thank you.
okay, so that means we have we're at the end of our story session, and we're at our buddy Dan's favorite segment, and also our buddy Paul up in I think he's up in the northeast part of the world. They love Bluff the Co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. So rules are simple in Bluff the Co-host. I have 3 stories, similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference: those stories were real. These may be real, maybe a bluff. It's up to Karen, John, and you playing at home to decide real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, put your hands on the buzzer, and let's get to story number 1. We learned last week that baseball umpires use a special New Jersey mud to clean the shine off of baseballs. It turns out there is a similar problem in another bat and ball sport. The commissioner of cricket in India ruled this week that players will now be allowed to use spit to rub on one side of a cricket ball to make it shiny so it curves more when the pitchers or when the bowlers throw it. Spit was banned during COVID, but players were still allowed to use sweat and other less pleasant bodily fluids. But they didn't work as well as good old saliva. When the ban was lifted, while the ban was lifted in time for the big national tournament coming up, the commissioner warned that he'll stop the spit again if there's another pandemic. Somewhere in heaven, Gaylord Perry is applauding. Oh, last week we talked about umpires rubbing balls with mud. This week, India said it's okay to rub spit on the cricket balls. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
I don't know the first thing about cricket, but I hope they aren't spitting on anything. So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Okay. Karen says spit on cricket balls is a bluff. John, that was your story last week. What do you say about this one?
Well, you know what? I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm thinking initially it's correct, and now Karen brings up the fact that it's you know what? I'm going to go with Karen on this one. I'm going to say it's a bluff. It's not real.
Okay, Karen and John both say spit on the balls in cricket is a bluff. Let's check with the judges. And the judges say somewhere in heaven, Gaylord Perry is applauding, but he's not applauding the two of you because that's a real story.
Oh my
geez.
gosh, really?
Believe
Wow.
it? Yeah. They only rub the one side to make they take the dull part off and make it shiny so that it curves more. And it's perfectly legal. So
Wow.
the player, not the umpires. I thought that was pretty
Okay.
interesting. So that means the score is tied at 0-0. Let's see
Well,
what
we're
they
both starting off. We're not starting out very well here, Karen. We have to
no,
try to
we're not.
redeem ourselves here.
Let's see how we do on the second one here. Okay. The Netherlands loves its canals, but it loves its fish even more. So it has come up with a new way to help fish who are blocked by canal and river locks during their spring spawning migrations. It's called the fish doorbell, and it works like an underwater ring camera and doorbell. Volunteers sign up to watch an underwater feed for hours at a time. When the camera picks up a fish, a doorbell rings, the volunteer presses a button, and a little door opens up to let the fish through to the other side to go make fish babies. While it sounds boring, many people who sign up every year say watching the murky water is relaxing, and helping the fish is the least they can do before making them into pickled herring and Dutch fish sandwiches. So the people in the Netherlands watch a underwater ring camera on the locks in the canals to help open doors for fish so that they can continue upstream to spawn. Real or bluff? John, we'll start with you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think this is a real story. I can see, not just because it's in the Netherlands, but I can just see that anything is possible. It seems like these days, and yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a real story.
Real story. Okay, John says that's a real story. Karen, how about you?
Well, I think this is great sex education. You know, we can take our kids to go watch the fish, do whatever. So, yeah, it's real.
So both of you say it's a real story. Well, now you remember they're not seeing the fish having sex. The fish are banging on the door so that they can get to the
Yeah,
other
but
side.
they know where the
Right,
fish are
yeah.
going and what they're going to do.
Little fish heads are banging up against.
Well, the fish are very motivated. I mean, I think that's what that's
knocking with their fin.
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, don't do it with their head. They're gonna damage their brains.
Oh my God! Oh gee, wait, I lost my place here. Real or bluff? Oh, let's check with the judges. Both of you say it's real. Judges say congratulations to both of you. That is definitely a real story.
All right, Karen, way to go. All right,
Those
good.
Dutch people, who knows what they do. Okay, that means the score's tied 1-1. Points are doubled in round number 2, but it doesn't matter. We're either going to end up with a tie or somebody's going to win. So, hands on the buzzer. Story number 3. Crime doesn't pay, but living in a country with wild cats does. A man in Ghana has been scamming online office finance companies for 3 years by getting small loans and never paying them back. Anytime a loan officer came to talk to the man, he was able to scare them away by painting his dog to look like a tiger and threatening to let it loose on the loan collectors. Even his neighbors thought it was a tiger and warned the collectors not to mess with it. The fake tiger worked for over a year until one day when the man refused to pay a bill he owed at the paint store where he bought his orange and black paint. The owner turned him in. The man is charged with deception, and the dog is sad that no one is afraid of him anymore. Okay, so a man in Ghana who painted his dog to look like a tiger to scare away loan collectors, and it actually worked for over a year. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll go back to you to start.
Well, I'm going to say it's a bluff. It just sounds too strange, too convoluted. So, bluff.
Bluff. Okay, Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Karen on this. It's got to be a bluff. And I'm going to go on the idea that, I mean, there's all sizes of dogs in the world. Like, how many people can assume that a large dog is a tiger? And let's assuming that this dog is not large, right? I mean, you can put the black and you can put the orange stripes on it, right? But it's not a tiger; it's a dog. I'm going to say it's definitely a bluff. Definitely a bluff.
Okay, I don't think it was a Chihuahua, but I get your logic.
Well, let's put it this way: if people believe it's a Chihuahua, those people need help. They need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wait, we don't want to offend anybody. Where did I say that was? In Ghana.
Yeah,
All that-
no offense, no offense, but
There you go. Send your hate mail to what in the world, John Denalo. Uh, okay, so Karen and John both say that the man chasing away loan collectors with a dog painted like a tiger is a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, "Boy, that writer was really good because it didn't need to be good this week because that's a real story."
oh my
Um,
gosh,
No.
oh,
It's a real story from Ghana. I
well,
saw different news items on it just to make sure.
wow.
It was a big dog, but I agree.
Obviously, has to be a big Paul. Maybe see if you can scare up a picture for us next week to see
Oh,
what this thing looks like, if that's
You
possible.
know, I'm
Oh my
going to
gosh.
claim fake news. Fake
Oh,
news.
that's there you go. Right,
oh,
Karen. Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
right.
no, no, Matt.
The deep fake even comes to what in the world? Oh my.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I think we've reached the end of What in the World, which means we've reached the end of another fun-packed episode of the What in the World podcast. I want to thank Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Karen, thanks for all that you do for us on the show. Also for all you do for all of the podcasts at newclevelandradio.net. For all your coaching clients, I'll thank you for them. You must be doing good work because you're our sponsor. So thank you so much for that as well. Then I want to thank my old buddy John Denalo, co-host, host of What in the World of Sports, an all-around good guy, puts up with all my nonsense every week. Thank you, John, for being here.
Paul, you're welcome, and Karen, thank you. I mean, it's a great show every week. We're just hoping we get more and more listeners. We want to have people have as much fun as we do putting it on.
That's
So
right.
let's
There you
just
go.
keep.
That's right, John. That's our
Let,
motto.
that's right. Let's keep things moving in the right direction there for sure.
That's right. We want you to come here, stay away from all the bad news, come here for the fun news. And again, yeah, you're right. As much fun. We hope that all of you have as much fun as we do during the show. So please come back again, listen to us in the future. Next week, we will be, if we're live, we will be on April Fool's Day, and that's not a joke. We actually will be here on April Fool's Day. I will probably have some April Fool's stories to go along with that special day. So you want to tune in for that as well. And on that note, any other items to cover, Karen?
No, but just good luck to all the baseball teams. They all start this week officially. So,
Oh yes, Major
you
League
know,
Baseball is back, and Guardians play on Thursday, and let's hope for a great season.
and
Yep.
if you happen to be in Louisville, go see the Louisville Bats because that's my new farm team this year.
All
So
right, okay,
go
the
Louisville
Bats.
Bats.
All right, great, good. Okay, we'll
With
see you
that,
all next.
we're out.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.